Earlier this evening, during our 6 p.m. newscast, we told you about the history of lynchings right here in Central Georgia.
Murders committed, sometimes with an audience, and the killers often not held responsible, leaving the victims' families with little hope of justice. Tonight, Aaron Rogers shares how the surviving relatives of 2 lynching victims from Central Georgia are working to keep their memory alive.
Back in 1915, Alonzo Green and his son James were on their way home here in Jones County when they were attacked by a lynch mob. What happened to them was rarely talked about, even within their own family. But what was passed down, the family is now sharing with us.
It's kind of sad.
Walking down this wayside road is an emotional journey for Tasha Billingsley.
Just thinking about what they had to go through.
It was here, on Independence Day more than a century ago, her great-great-uncle and cousin had their fate sealed and freedom ripped away. What happened
Was definitely swept under the rug.
But in Tasha's family, the story of Alonzo Green and his son James was passed down through this woman, Tasha's grandmother, whose father was Alonzo's older brother.
He was shot. He had a teenage son with him at the time. And he exclaimed to the crowd, "I'm going home and tell my mother." After his dad was shot, then he was shot.
Tasha's father, Curtis Billingsley, says he heard the story from his mother-in-law many times.
It was just a picnic to bring justice upon someone. It didn't matter who.
While the oral history never went into a lot of detail.
We know that these kinds of things happen.
In a back room of the Jones County Courthouse is this newspaper article dated July 8, 1915, just 4 days after the murder. The words on the now frayed and faded paper describe a mob of hundreds looking to avenge a white farmer's killing. But when it came to the Greens, even the paper says these Negroes had nothing whatever to do with the crime.
Totally unfair. Due process is due everyone.
In an unusual occurrence during that time, there are some reports that a white man named Woodall Green did serve some jail time for Alonzo and James murders, but we found no evidence he was ever charged with the crimes.
Justice was never served. The lynch mob rule does not apply to justice.
But a delayed justice, or at least recognition, is why this group of community members meets once a month.
I thought that this was a piece of history that should come to light in Jones County.
Janice Kitchens, who's Tasha's cousin, is leading the charge, inspired after she visited the Memorial for Peace and Justice in Alabama, snapping this photo of the pillar with the names of those killed from Jones County.
It just moved me.
She learned the museum will donate duplicates of the pillar to each county where the lynchings occurred. This group now wants to honor the 5 people from Jones County, including Alonzo and James Green, by bringing their memorial home.
We just have to keep him alive.
There is a process, though, including a proposal, a historical marker, and revisiting the site of the lynching.
We collect the soil from this. It will assuage the spirits of Alonzo and his son James.
As we walked where the group believes the lynching happened, they told me they're not looking to blame, just remember.
They're digging up the past of those folks who were left out of the quote history book.
A reminder of what was and a hope for what can be. The group told me that they want to bring the marker back to the county by July, which is around the anniversary of the lynching. They're now looking for a permanent place to put the marker and are considering the Jones County Courthouse. In Jones County, I'm Aaron Rogers, 13 WMAZ News.
And you can learn more about the facts of the Jones County case and listen to extended interviews with family members right now on 13WMAZ.com.
Just look for this story on our homepage.